as long as, and this is probably controversial, as long as it doesn't take away from the overall appearance, where it takes away too much detail, it looks like obvious. Like, you see those guys, I know I'm calling out Brazil, but you see those guys like in Brazil. These are my 2 cents on the PMMA, any kind of SEO, which is site injection optimization, where bodybuilders will inject some kind of synthetic oil, some kind of, well, it could be anything really. It's not really it doesn't really dissolve. That's the whole point. It's very hard to dissolve, and they use it. Bodybuilders have been using it for years. I know the 90s were very big on it, where it just helps fill in some of your weaknesses, some of your gaps. And so bodybuilders, well-known bodybuilders, I mean, I think most of the 90s are pretty, like, there's, I think, Quadzilla, it's not the old freaking Tom Platz. He interviewed a whole bunch of bodybuilders about their cycles and what they do and stuff. And there's a few, and they just admit to like SEOs. They admit to the fact that, like Flex Wheeler, he used a whole bunch. I think Nasser also admitted to like, it was just a thing back then that he said every bodybuilder was doing it. I don't know what every, means, but it's essentially a way to, like, if you had, lacking forearms or biceps or calves, you would just fill in those gaps in your muscles with that injection. You inject in the area that you want it to grow, and it adds oil. So it would, if you have like a torn muscle or missing muscle. So my 2 cents is, sure, like, why not? Like, the bodybuilding sport, like, we are a sport where it is essentially enhanced already. Like, it's expected to be enhanced, even though it's like against the rules of them and other sports, like most other sports. But bodybuilding is the only sport that's like, yeah, dude, do what you gotta do. Use diuretics, do hormonal T3, T4, clenbuterol, peptides, animal tranquilizers, pretty much, like horse, trembolone, like anything and everything to, eventually it's gonna be not mitochondrial, but I can't think right now. It's the ability, your muscle has the ability to, the cattle that can't stop, they like overproduce muscle. I can't think of that for some reason, but anyways, they'll soon be creating a steroid that's like that. I believe, like, one day we'll be able to synthesize that, I think, because of technology getting better and better. But that would be crazy, because then every bodybuilder would be ridiculous. I don't know. And then the really, really genetic outliers would really stick out. But I think, yes, that like have the oiled up arms, oiled up traps, oiled up like a chest, but you can tell it's not muscle at all. That's where you should be docked. Is anything like, we don't want to bring in these oil synthetic kind of monsters in there. We want to keep it a bodybuilding show where it's muscle, but if there's gaps and you can do it, I guess wisely, like, too much of anything is too much. So I think there's a happy medium where you do use PMMAs or SEOs and site inject those areas and help them grow, but nothing crazy. That's it. Like, don't make it over obvious where they have like the spiked delts that stick out like crazy and things like that. Like, I think there is a level, because of the fact that it's an aesthetic show as well, that it makes sense that you would want to have that to smooth out some areas that are like, there's holes. At the same time, if it's creating like huge giant bulbous balloons and it's taken away from the aesthetics, then yeah, dock them. I think if someone's overdone it and it's taking away too much detail, and so the girl with the new oiled up thighs, I think it's taken away detail, so I would dock her and give more points to the more detailed shredded girl. Since this whole argument's happening with those two, but I know there's more like guys and stuff, but like, yeah, I would say that's my 2 cents is there's a level to doing it, and then there's a level of overdoing it. So there's a happy balance. I think it's possible. Bodybuilders have done it in the past, the 90s. Flex Wheeler's arms, yes. Did it lose some detail? Yes, but it got the size, and that was lacking enough that it helped him. So it's like, it's so subjective that there comes a point where it's like, well, what is that line? and we're riding it right now. So I think the Brazilian, she went too far. I think it should be docked a little bit, but not to the point of like losing her, trophies and stuff. I think this is a good learning moment as a sport to be like, okay, where is our boundaries? Where are our lines? Where are we drawing these lines? And it should create a positive conversation, and we shouldn't be hiding behind, this federation is approving it and all that, like they've always have. We just don't talk about it as much. So yeah, be transparent about it. I think they should talk and say, okay, let's put a standard. Here's the too much line, and it exists. So everyone's aware. Everyone can use it if it's going to help. But if it takes away from your physique, sorry, goodbye. That's where I think the sport will do good, and that's my 2 cents as someone who follows and lives and breathes bodybuilding in many ways. That's my 2 cents. And as always, have a good one.